Alright guys, so just now we talked about y equals x squared, basic parameter, y equals x minus 2. Another basic parameter, and we notice that whenever it's minus 2, it's actually moved to the right. If it's plus something, it's moved to the left. One thing I do want to point out that is this minus 2 or this plus 1 is associated with x. That's why it's horizontal movement. Yeah, this number here is with x. This number here is with x. Later on today, we're going to do numbers that relate to y. So you will see it's vertical movement later. But so far, we're going to stick with this. Okay, have a go with this one. Everybody finish? You guys put on. How do we go with y equals 1 over x and 1 over x plus 1? I'm going to use decimals to help us to sketch. What does 1 over x look like? What do you guys reckon? Y equals 1 over x. It's hyperbola, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the x plus 1 means
It's moved 1 unit to the left.
1 unit to the left. Very good. So this plus 1 is related to x, so it's horizontal movement and to the left. Now, I have plotted this using decimals to help us to visualize what's going on. Y equals 1 over x plus 1. Now you can see, it looks like this. I do have a vertical, I do have a y-intercept. Y-intercept is when x equals 0. So 0 plus 1 is 1. 1 over 1 is 1. That's why the hyperbola cut the y-axis at 1. Yeah? That's the only one y-intercept. There's nothing else. Obviously, there's no x-intercept. You happy? All good? Okay. All right. Going to move on. So now we'll talk about parabola moved left to the right. We'll talk about hyperbola moved left to the right. Next thing we're going to talk about, actually move on to, so this thing, I'm just going to write down a small title here. This one is horizontal translation. Yeah? So now we're going to move on to the vertical translation now. Let's have a look. Can I encourage, I know this sounds easy, but can I encourage you guys to sketch these two on the same number plane? Have a quick sketch, then we'll have a brief discussion what's going on there. Guys all done? Yeah. Excellent. All right, so we all know that y equals x squared is my basic parameter, right? Can anybody have a guess? What does this 1 do to my original function? Shift up, how many units? 1 unit. Very good. So I will have something like this, right? So that distance there is 1. Right. Now, one thing I do want to point out is just now we say this one, all the number here is related to x. That's why it's horizontal movement. Here, even though it looks like from outside, from external point of view, looks like the 1 is with x. The 1 is not with x. The 1 is actually with y. So that's something just be very, very careful for beginners. So this thing is actually that. Yeah, so 1 is with y, but we are doing opposite movement. Even though it's minus 1, it's actually moved to the up by 1 unit. So that's the key idea of today. Each number with x, horizontal movement. Each number with y, vertical movement, but opposite operation. Does it make sense? We've done horizontal translation, we've done vertical translation. You guys are pretty good. I'm going to combine those two together now, like the horizontal and vertical. Yeah. Let's have a look. So, combine. So horizontal and vertical. I'm going to combine these two now. Let's have a look. So for example, if I've got have a quick sketch, see what that graph looks like. Sorry, my bad. My bad. Cubic. So it doesn't matter, right? Doesn't matter if it's cubic or a parabola. I start from the original function. Imagine the original function is a cubic. So imagine I have that first. Then I'm going to do that. Then I'm going to do that. Then you're done, right? So sketch the basic cubic first. Then I move everything to the left or right?
Left.
Left, very good. How many units?
2.
2 units. And then what does this minus 4 do to my original function?
Goes down 4.
Goes down. So I go these 2 units, then I go right. What is it? Minus, I go down by 4 units, right? So when you sketch these functions in your homework practice or in your assessment task, ask yourself, what does those numbers do to my original function? Make sense? Give it a go. While you do it, I'll walk around to look at people's answer, except my photographer. Yep, very good. So make sure you, when you finish, make sure you label your y-intercept as well, right? What's y-intercept?
-4. No.
Maybe try again. 4. Yep. Y-intercept is when x equals 0. 0 plus 2 is 2, 2 to the power 3 is 8, 8 minus 4 is 4. So your very final graph for the y-intercept is 4. So this one thing, we combine vertical and horizontal. Last thing I'm going to do today is parabola, but in vertex form, which we've done in chapters 3. But today we're going to have a look at from translation point of view. Still sketch parabola, nothing different to chapters 3. In chapter 3, we're talking about complete square, what else? Factorize, quadratic formula, all those tools. Today just another one, but from different angle, from different perspective. So from vertex form, shall we call it? Whenever we talk about the vertex form, we think about completing the square, right? And you guys had complete square yesterday in the assessment task. So let's have a look. Y equals x squared minus 4x plus 5. I think the numbers are right. Yeah. So I'm going to complete the square first. This one's a monic or non-monic?
Monic.
Monic, right? So it's relatively easy. So I'm going to have a look at the coefficient of x is minus 4, I halve it. Minus 2 and squared is 4, right? So when I complete square, I got from here to here. Not good sign if a 30-bit issue. Okay. What did I get? plus 4 here, right? I need to minus 4. I need to minus 4, and originally plus the 5, I'll keep it. Okay, now I've reached my vertex form of a parabola, right? So, based on our chapter 3 knowledge, we know the vertex is at 2, 1, correct? Now from here, we can easily figure out how do we do the movement. So, y is x squared first, then I shift everything to the right 2 units, and then what do?
Move it up 1.
Move up 1 unit. Very good. That's it. Right? So I go, okay, that's my first one, that's my second one, and that's my final one. Yeah? Is it okay, everyone?
Yeah.
Very final question, then you can have a rest, is this one here. So vertex form, we got 2 questions. 1, 2, y equals this. Right? So once again, this one thing we'll talk about in, I believe in chapter 3 as well. Monic or non-monic?
Non-monic.
Alright, this time it's non-monic, that's a little bit different, right? So I'm going to do the factorize first. I'm going to take the negative 2 out. Normally, you would have to take the negative 2x out if it's just a factorized question, right? But for this case, I'm just going to take negative 2 out. Reason being, I still want to keep x squared and 4x so I can use complete square later. Does it make sense? Let's have a look. So, take the negative 2 out, I have x squared plus 2x. Yeah? Then I'll put the negative 2 on the left hand side. I put that on the left hand side. Then I got x squared plus 2x. That thing I can easily imply completely squared. So the right hand side from here to here, I have completely squared. Yeah? Then I put the negative 2 back to the right hand side. Multiply everywhere by negative 2. Negative 2, negative, negative, plus. Now I can hear now. Now you can see this is pretty much the vertex form, except I got a negative 2 at the front. But don't worry for now. In year 11 and advanced level, all we talk about is horizontal translation, vertical translation, bit of combined. So we're not worried about negative 2 at this stage. In year 12 advanced, we'll talk about dilation. That's where things go like that. Yeah? So at the moment, all we talk about is left to right, up and down. So, in other words, I'm not going to worry about the 2 for now. So, when I sketch that, I will go, that's the most basic one, right? Yeah? That's the most basic one. Then I'm going to shift everything to the left by 1 unit. Right? Then move it up 2 units. Now, of course, when you sketch properly, when you practice any exam, you're going to worry about my x-intercept and y-intercept, which we'll talk about in chapter 3. Make x equals 0, make y equals 0, etc. Make sense? All right. Yeah, you can start another one.